almost 2 weeks now.
Hey, and in another year, I can join y'all.
Nick, you can join us anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
No, like, KJ's cool as hell. As long as you're not doing anything stupid and you're not drinking.
Yeah, in all honesty, me and Brandon know KJ so well that if you just come in and hang out with us, nobody's gonna ever say shit to you.
And Nick, you look like you're 18.
Yeah, I could pass as 18.
So, just a side note with this, I didn't know what was going on because I literally just walked in here. The recording's back up, so all this is getting recorded, just so you know.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Alright, we'll talk more about it after the game. Alright, let's play.
Okay, so...
Wait, I'm eating watermelon.
Nice!
So, all you notice is... For a second, you just noticed that Felia's gone, but you saw her walk back into the tavern.
The fuck do you go? Alright. Whatever.
Outside that intrigued me, but it was not as shiny as I thought it was, so I came back in.
Okay, well,
I want to make an insight check. First insight check against another player in this fucking game. I mean,
so
campaign.
here's how I'm gonna do this.
I'm pretty sure as I checks against Valastrios in this game, but yeah, sure.
So, Philia, so as to not give away the nature of what you say, so to not give away whether it's truthful or fictional, I'm just going to have you make a straight charisma roll instead. A charisma ability check versus his insight check.
Oh, yeah. Best be worried, because I got a lot of...
That's a nat
Oh my
20.
god.
Yeah,
That's a
okay.
nat 20.
Alright,
Or
Alright.
not. Or not.
alright, okay.
Okay. Alright.
what are the odds? What are the fucking odds?
Oh my god.
Couldn't
You know,
possibly be.
Dorian, she's kind of hard to read.
So wait, you're telling me you saw something shiny inside of this mountain with all this stone, and you didn't think to ask the stone expert what kind of shiny gem it was?
I did, I'm sorry.
Come on, you always
just
gotta ask the
wasted all your
stoners.
time, Philia. I mean, you have a expert stonecrafter over here.
Alright, Dorian. Alright, Dorian, get off your damn high horse. Shut the fuck up. Where are we supposed to go?
I'm just saying.
It turns out to be Formica, which is fool's gold, if you recall.
I mean,
So it wasn't worth bringing up to you.
I still would like to be a part of it. I'm a pinnacle part of the stone research. But I got my own stone collection.
He feels
Okay,
left
okay.
out.
You know what?
He feels
I'm
left out.
gonna grab the drunken gnome, pick him up, cast my spell on myself, and go. Apparently, we gotta go meet with the other kings. Let's go! As I kind of like try to scoot everybody else out of the room.
So, do we get our drink served to us yet?
She brought him back.
Like I'm grabbing a cup as I walk out,
So-
and I'm just like scooting everybody out.
I will take 3 pints of the cheapest fucking ale out of there, and I'll just like pour it into my bag of holding, like I'm like taking this in like a to-go cup.
I grab one of the kegs
We call them walk me downs. So you grab it and you walk down the street.
Right,
So walk me
I'm
down.
pouring 3 pints of the walk me down cheap ass booze into my bag of colding, and then
Look, oh, sorry.
and then I'll just fix myself a
Pouring
drink out
it
of what we
like
got here,
liquid
and like
into your bag.
yeah, just straight liquid right into the bag of colding.
Oh shit! So you
Okay,
I knew
it
me and Philia were
saturates the inside of your
alcoholics,
bag.
but damn.
At this point, I'm just gonna grab like the biggest cup that Aaron can actually carry with one arm, and just like walk out and just be like, "You motherfuckers, son of a goddamn motherfucker."
Your bag reeks of crappy beer.
It's a bag of colding. It's meant to keep it cold, and it goes into another plane. So who cares?
No, the bag of colding does not. It's just a bag that preserves things.
Oh, I thought the bag of colding was like a bag of holding, but it keeps things cold.
No.
No,
Then I will
it's just a
put
regular bag that
I will
preserves
put
things.
it in a vial jar or something, and like put it in there. That was my misunderstanding of how the mechanics of this bag works. I don't want it to just splash around with all my poisons and like be like,
You know what?
"Here's a bunch
Screw
of
it.
ale."
I grab a keg of the strong stuff and the weak stuff, and I start walking with one hand with the strong and one hand with the weak, and I start walking with.
I'm gonna pull out a wooden straw and just shove it in the keg that he's carrying, and I'm just gonna start drinking behind him.
I'm just gonna straight grab him and walk it.
And I will roll a stealth check for that.
By this point, who is
I will
drank
roll
a
a strength check for that.
Alright, so
By this point, who has drank a sizable amount?
let's all
not
address
me.
the Tarask in the room. Delia has a brother.
Oh my god.
So here's, if I can piggyback on that, Philia has a brother apparently. Who the fuck knew? There's the other Divine Spark, off in some southern islands. Are you gonna be able to get the food?
And me and
I
you,
have headphones on, I'm not gonna
Shiziki,
be able to hear it.
and me and you, Shiziki,
aren't they?
have...
I thought that's what you're showing me. Oh, then never mind. I thought that's what you're showing me. Okay, then I'll just listen up. But yeah, there's some person off how the coast of the Southern Islands, and also me and Aaron and a few others are expected in Angaria. Also, has anybody sent a scout out to see if Zeus is still eating the dolphins off the coast?
Oh, no, oh, by the way, I was actually told about that. There's no more obliteration. Zeus has kind of like hightailed it out of here.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, the king can vouch for that. By the way, he is sober.
Great. However, I know we have a lot of dire things coming up. However, I have some personal obligations that I need to attend to in Angaria.
Yeah, as do I.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
you do,
I got
Aaron. think we're in
nothing
the
to
same
do
boat on that.
in Agaria, but I do have an oath I need to uphold in Redford.
So, is this us splitting up for a little while, guys?
And
Look,
well,
Dorian, if I may, while in if I could actually follow up, what are you doing in Redford?
well,
Is it the person that we happened to mention about before? Person of interest.
Remind me.
There happens to be a Baron out there that needs to be dealt with.
Oh, Baron von Strice. Yeah. Yeah, I actually got a raven from Carrick a while back asking me if I was still gonna do that thing, and completely forgot about it. And till the raven came. Well, when I first got to Stormhaven, there was a raven waiting for me, and yeah, so I gotta go.
Can I make a
And I
personal
figured,
request out of that?
yeah.
I happen to have somebody out there not too terribly long ago delving for some information that pointed him in another direction. I don't know if you remember Vark, but he was out there on my behalf, and he found some stuff out about a certain thing called the Angel of Death that pointed him towards the Xanatharian Syndicate. But if you happen to find any more information that's circulating around that town, I would be very interested about it.
Well, so here's my thing. Redford is on the way to Angaria. I don't have any business in Angaria, but Redford's on the way. So I could travel with y'all there, and I could just
I think we might be
beat path off.
teleporting if Azrael is
Well,
able.
I mean, of course,
saying,
yeah.
I
I'll be
happen to know
teleporting too. I was just thinking.
I just happen to know that my friend was able to find some information out there while I was there. For
Yeah,
other
I mean,
reasons. But if you happen to
I
come
have a
across
friend.
any other information while
Yeah.
there, I wouldn't be adverse if you could share that with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get that right in Shiziki, because I'll be honest with
I
you.
will write it down.
I have
while
a memory
in Redford,
of a cuttlefish.
ask about actually.
See, because when I get to
I'm
hankering
gonna write this in
towns
code that I know
full of
Dorian
evil,
understands, because I don't want this just to be out there for anybody. So I'll write it in Shaznik. While in Redford, Ask about Angel of Death on the down low. Might get you killed. I don't know. LOL Shaz.
So, Gavin, have we arrived to like the king's hall? I guess they call it here,
Um,
or like yacht,
it's
like
the Earthen Fortress. But yes,
the yurt. We got to this guy's yurt.
the Earthen Fortress. But yes, you're there.
Yeah, the yurt fortress.
Which is
Okay.
literally like this whole city is just built into caves. It's inside of a mountain, and their buildings are caves. But this one particular structure seems to be actually built out of stone, and it's an actually freestanding structure. The only freestanding structure, aside from the Primeval Consortium, in the entire city.
Wait. Hold on. We're here at the Primeval Consortium. Like, this is here in this town?
The Primeval Consortium is headquartered in Gaiar, yes.
Yeah, and the Primeval
Shiz biscuits.
Consortium is also attached to the same building as the fortress, right?
No, they're two separate buildings.
Okay.
So this is like
Yeah.
a place of like a lot of knowledge and shit, right?
It's a academy for primarily evocation magic.
Yeah.
Does it have any other knowledge and shit? Or is
No.
it
It's-
evocation magic.
They only
It's
deal with
evocation magic.
evocation.
Okay.
It's a academy for making things blow up and make big flashes through magic.
Okay. So I also, however, need to try and take a detour to the Tower of the Gods, if anybody wants to go, before making it to Angaria. So if anybody wants to make a trip over to a pedophile's library and a shop, we can do that. But that's
I'm
where
good.
I need
I'm good
to
with
go.
the shop. I'm okay. We can go to the shop. We can go to the pedophile.
Pretty sure that dude has some underage kids in his basement. Just saying, this is what we're getting into. Just being aware. Phoenix, in case you weren't aware, apparently pedophiles, quite the scholars. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, Jaziki, I'm kind of go with you where, because we both have the same destination. So
Sure.
I
I know
guess-
you're on board, Aaron. I just wanted to make sure everybody else was aware, since if we're splitting up, and if that's the case,
Well, I mean, I might be following y'all. We haven't really discussed in that area, but
Well,
we
why don't
definitely
we-
do have more to discuss.
Why don't you come with me? Because I could really use some help out in Redfin Ford.
yeah, Phoenix, you
Yes,
go with
yes.
Dorian, accompany him, because I'm sure we will all meet back up again. We have
besides
Bigger
Phoenix, I think you
things
need
to
to
do.
kind of find out what it is you want to do. If you want to come out to Angari, you're more than welcome. But these are definitely the people that you would need to speak to if you decide to agree to the previous terms I was talking about. If you're still hesitant
Yes,
about that,
and
you might want to explore
I'm-
your options better with Dorian and I don't know whoever else is going out there and what they're handling.
I mean, I was definitely on the fence, but I think I've
Awesome,
came
thank
to a conclusion on
That's everything?
what I
Awesome,
want to
appreciate
do.
it.
And what is that, Phoenix? What is your conclusion?
My conclusion is to go through the better option. I think of taking a little bit of a easier path, and that is joining with you and Suzuki and y'all's endeavors for the 2 years that I have to.
So
If that's the agreement, right?
it depends, and this is something we need to discuss more in depth. I just wanted to
Yes.
let you know what it is you would potentially be getting into, especially joining with the Dark Suns. Now, I don't know what all it'll take to restart your order, and I don't want to give you any false advertising here. So, to be honest, if you want to travel with us to Ungari and see what the Dark Suns are about, I'm more than welcome to bring you along. But why don't you take an evening and sit down with me and Aaron, and Azrael, if that might happen to be, and tell me what exactly it is you want to actually get out of restarting your order, what that would take, what you know, who, it's hard to tell you what it would take to be able to make that happen. When, to be honest, I hardly know anything about this order that you want to actually breathe life back into.
Just tonight or tomorrow, before me and Shiziki and Azrael head off the night before, we all four will sit down. We will have a discussion, and we will talk, so that way we can better understand your order and better understand how to get you in the right place.
Sounds like a plan.
Wonderful.
When suddenly out of nowhere, Azrael just kind of appears right back up next to the rest of you. A few buttons undone from the tunic under his robe, and says, "But in the meantime, I doubt that."
God damn it!
Hello, Mr. Smiley.
Meanwhile, I doubt that Mr. Gilderoy would want to have somebody. No offense to you, of course, but he would view you as being too green for the mission that he is going to send them on.
But if he comes with us, he can at least sit down and talk with him, and they can go over things. Why me and Shiziki go handle business?
Too green. What is that supposed to mean?
Don't worry.
No.
Gilderoy's a very paranoid man. He doesn't like to do business with people that he doesn't know, especially people that are new to the guild.
I will give him my word. He can sit down and talk. I know I'm green
Let me
too.
assure you, you don't know Gilderoy. I trust you. I know that
Look.
you're more than capable. And Azrael, I don't doubt your abilities. But neither one of you know Gilderoy. I do, and Gilderoy doesn't even like me. So
Phoenix,
trust me.
let me ask you something. How much
Yes.
do you like the undead?
I mean, I've fought
You like
them.
vampires, werewolves, zombies.
Trick question.
It's not a trick question. Look, it's simple. Do you like them or do you not?
I mean, I've fought a few of them in my
Oh.
endeavors.
Oh, okay, so you know your way around a vampire and a silver and magical weapon and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you should come with me. I gotta go kill a greater vampire lord. His name is Baron von Strice.
So, to be completely honest, if you come with us, I can introduce you to some people, but I've got to do work for Gilderoy, who I'm sure
Look.
is not going to want to put you in his employ just yet. I can introduce you to things, I can show you around the town, but as far as actually being an active part of the mission that me and Aaron have to do, I doubt you can be involved in that. So,
Oh yeah, that's not happening. I wasn't saying that was going to happen. I was just saying he could sit down and talk with Gilderoy while we go do business.
The only reason, and this should speak to your abilities, Aaron, it should speak to our leader's opinion of you. The only reason even you are being allowed to undertake this mission is because Vivi put his personal word and reputation on the line by vouching for you to Gilderoy, that you would be fundamental to the success of the mission.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so that settles it. Shiziki, Aaron, go to Angaria, and then Phoenix and myself and Philia go to Redford to help Carrick.
Alright, I'm fine with
And
that.
we will send a message when we're done, and you can send a message when you're done, and then we will.
How about we just
Meet
meet
back
each
up.
other at the Brass City?
I'll tell you what,
Like
how
I
about
said.
this? Why don't we meet in 1 week's time? I don't know how long this mission will take, but I know I have other business I can attend to in Angaria at the very least. 1 week, we meet back up in Brass City, we continue on planning however we need to deal with this Divine Spark. Last time that we took one out, we had 2 weeks, so I think 1 week will give us more than enough to be able to handle whatever business we need to, meet back up, and continue on with everything that we've had going forth.
Sounds good to me.
Wait, where do you want to meet back up?
Brass City works for me, or however else, if you guys want to find somewhere else to go.
Yep.
Azrael says, "May I suggest an alternative location, as New Brass City is the furthest southern city in the Taraski Desert, in fact in the entire kingdom. We should meet up at Surinar instead instead. That's where I call home. That's where I serve the majority of the military service I've had to this date, and it is a wonderful city.
I've never been to Soronar.
Oh, it's beautiful. A
And-
shining gem in
I
a
mean,
desolate desert.
I mean, I know it's right south of Redford. How far south of Redford is it? Because it's gonna take me at least I figure 6 days to get to Redford, and then 3, maybe 4 hours to kill a Baron. Maybe that's then I gotta shit on his body and then his coffin for a little bit, and then I don't know.
But concerned about distance, Surinar is much closer than New Brass City is. And you could make the trek across the desert and with some guidance in 3 days' time.
But
Well, I mean, I know the area.
Redford
So.
to New Brass City on my map is 1 finger length, so that can't be right.
I am looking at my map. And actually, yeah, Surinar is about the halfway point between Redford and New Brass City.
Alright, Surinar sounds good.
Alright, so 1 week's time. Saranard. It is done.
Alright. I wish that Mad Mage was here to teleport me to Redford already.
He is there.
No, Velasquez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, so are we splitting up now? Or what are we doing?
No.
Oh, we had to
we're here
talk
at
to
the
these
fortress.
kings.
We had to talk to the kings and let them know how everything went. They are the
Tell you what.
kings. They deserve to know.
Once we conclude the conversation with the monarchs at hand, I will first take them to Angaria, and then I will acquire a few mana potions, come back, and teleport
Actually,
you to
well,
Redford.
Hold on.
How's that
Actually,
sound?
we have some other things that we got to do. We got to go to the Tower of the Gods first.
It's going to require a few more
Yeah.
mana potions, but
Look,
I can make that happen.
Just
We can get you mana potions just as long as we can get where we're going.
You take them to Angaria, and then Philia can take us to Surinar. I'm sure she's been there. Once, maybe? I don't know.
Probably.
I got a
not.
map. I got a map. This is or maybe Ione, or no, but someone could help us. Yeah, Karzar could probably get us down there. I got faith in Karzar. He's okay.
I'm sure you have your resources, and it will all play out
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we're by the way, we're still walking to the king.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Let's go talk to these guys.
So
Alright,
by
let's
this
go.
point, War Council is in the midst of forming. So you notice King Galaton and King Rurik is there, as well as your Terramain, King Terramain, he's there as well. And you notice Duncan is there, representing the Brotherhood as well.
Is Ione there?
Ayumi is also there, yes, thank you. Representing the Primeval Consortium.
Is her fuckboy there too?
No, he is not.
Okay, good. Because I'd kick him out. Or try to.
I would help. I mean, I might as well fight him.
Yeah.
Well, I walk in, still only having one arm.
I walk in and just address King Rorik first, and I just bow my head, my king, and I go stand beside Duncan.
Alright.
I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
Go
Before
for it.
we get there, I will vernis, and I will change my armor into a nicer looking thing of brown leather that Philia's brother was wearing, and prestidigitation myself and make myself look davishingly handsome. And as I walk in, I will get Ayumi and give her a wink.
I'm gonna
Okay.
kind of.
Do you
I'm gonna
still
kind of
look
nudge.
like a half drow?
I still look like half drow, because I look like
Okay.
me.
I'm gonna nudge Suzuki and go, and point at my bloody gut forming armor. Can you clean me up a little bit? Please.
So, bloody gut forming armor. What do you want? What?
I want to
He
get.
wants the blood off his gear
I want to
Oh.
get a little bit cleaner.
and not
You
be
could've said
covered
that when we were
in
at the
illicit
bar.
matter.
Jesus. All right. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I will wipe my hands off and do finger guns, and cast prestidigitation on his armor and make it look
Little
even
spit
worse than what it is.
shine. Little spit shine.
Well, you can't make it look worse with prestidigitation.
Sure I can. I can change the way it looks. I can make it look like it's got like weird ichor dripping off of it.
It just cleans stuff up.
Oh, fine.
Or makes fireworks.
I will make it look like no, fine. I'll clean it up and make it look good. Spit shine new.
Spit shine.
I'll just kind of make sure the my dark sun symbol is shining, extra shiny.
And then how does little Miss Ayumi respond to my very persuasive wink?
You know, just for the force of that wink, make a charisma check, a general charisma check.
Oh, great.
Not a persuasion check, just charisma.
Yeah, just charisma.
I don't have any luck points to use today. I used them all in the fight.
Yeah, no. Join the club.
You know what? Because of what you're wearing, you have advantage.
Roll good.
Nice.
Wow.
You know what's better than 8? 9.
I'm off my game, fellas.
She sort of gives you an awkward smile and sort of just turns back in the other direction.
Shiziki being Shiziki will see the awkward smile and be like, who's closest to me? Aaron, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I'll give him an
Yeah.
elbow and be like, I'm in.
Aaron's just gonna put his hand, his only hand in his face in his hand, just shake it.
Face palm, just like, really?
Just kind of wipe off his face a little bit.
I got this, bros.
like,
I got this. Is already
He's
a
gonna
done
stand
deal.
up. He's gonna walk. He's gonna walk in, walk a little closer, kind of give a nod, and kind of pat the gnomish king on the back as he walks up to with the rest of them. But he's not gonna bow or anything like that. He's just gonna kind of give a nod.
I proceed to walk up, set the kegs on the table. Is like, how about some drinks with our discussion?
Hey, I'm in for that. By the way,
King Rurik says, as much as I hate to say this, we need our wits about us at this time.
By the way, you notice that when you set the cask down, it's like half empty.
I
wouldn't draw.
make a drunkenness check.
Oh.
I got this, guys. I got a +5. Don't worry.
Oh,
Solid 10.
It goes 8,
You are
9,
now
10.
drunk. So here's what that means. You have a minus. So you went ahead and passed tipsy. You were just drunk. So that's a -2 to any dexterity-based skill check. And
Okay, how about-
do what?
How about casting a spell?
You can still cast spells.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration on myself.
I'm gonna have you make. Well, no, you're not quite at that point where you wouldn't think to do it, so that's fine. All right.
Wait, so if
I'll
you're drunk,
I'll look over at the rest of my
Oh,
little
I'm not drunk anymore.
tag group, and I'll be like, all right, since we're all here, now it's time to get a little serious. Aaron and Phoenix, quit playing around.
Hey, I'm good. Thank
My
you very
king.
much.
We have a lot to report. Now, Duncan has informed me that the Brotherhood's loss is about 30%, and I'll look over at Duncan, correct?
Yes.
What were the losses of the other factions?
So Gallatin speaks up. The gnomes, we lost about half our forces. And then Yord Terramain speaks up and says, and we lost about 20% here.
King Donax?
30%. About, gotta get his voice right. About 30% as well.
These are heavy losses for all of us. And
King
God,
Donax speaks up and says, and and I am most regretful over King Galaton and his losses. They, out of their own volition, decided to come here and offer us reinforcements, and they were hit the hardest.
I
So-
agree with you, King Donax. King Galaton, allow me to speak for the Brotherhood. We are thankful and gracious for you and all of your soldiers that fought with us this day. It'll be glorious. And I do not say, please take my words with kindness, but your soldiers that died here today will be sung and rejoiced by the bards of the church. The Brotherhood will transcribe their names for all history to read.
Most appreciated. We defied our own non-interference traditions to do this. I just hope that when I go back, I can convince the general populace to not flock back to those old traditions as recompense for the losses that we've gained today.
And if I may, I will speak with Duncan and Grand Knight the Grand Prior Griffin, that maybe we could send a couple, with your permission, a couple of our healers to your city. We know that your city took some damage over on the west coast from the fires, if I'm not mistaken.
A little bit. It's all right. I mean, this is no offense to you. There is much machinery. It's very mechanical, the fortifications on our city, and it will take skilled engineers to repair them.
How much will it cost?
A couple 100 million gold, most likely.
See me after. We will discuss this.
Of course, he gives you a confused look like there's no way somebody could have that much money.
Talk to me after, and we will discuss this.
Now, King Donax, as you know, and the rest of the War Council knows, that we, the Seven Deadly Sins, split off. Our ragtag group went to go infiltrate behind the enemy lines and take out the Elder Brain and the Illithari that were down there. Well, we had a mad mage with us. His name is Valastrios, the Archmage. I really don't know what he did, but he sent the Elder Brain somewhere else. We agreed that the Elder Brain would still... He did not want to snuff out a being that was thousands of years old, so he sent it to another dimension. And
King Rurik slams his fist on the table. Well, he should have!
Shiziki? What plane did he send him to?
Dread? Something Dread? Plain Dread? Dread.
Duncan speaks up and says, wait, I'm hearing you right. He sent him to the plane of Dread.
That is correct.
The home domain of Vecna.
Yes.
How does a mage accomplish this?
He's good at what he does.
I think I remember a giant freaking tuning fork.
If I may, Valastrios is a new addition to the Seven Deadly Sins, but he also is a magi. So I don't know what limitations, if any, that any of us could be able to fathom of the bounds of his abilities.
He speaks up again, Duncan does. Well, I find that hard to believe, considering the Magi have been gone for hundreds of years, nearly a millennia.
Things that we have seen can conclude that he...
I can barely hear you, Brandon.
The things that we have seen
A little bit further back.
can conclude that he is in such a magi.
To be honest, I don't think anyone here has seen tentacles raining from the sky eating the ocean either in recent times. So forget what you know and understand what it is you see today and make the adaptations as necessary.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Grey Knight, but from what my compatriots here tell me is he claimed possession of the Magi Tower in King's Crest.
That he did.
And he carries the staff of Magi.
That he does.
Ayumi speaks up and says, "Indeed, I actually did have a brief conversation with this Philastrios earlier. He seemed very knowledgeable in the arts of the arcane. Even I was impressed."
Good news, though. Shiziki, can you please present your latest trophy of battle?
I will, and I will reach into my bag and pull out the head of Cortho, or Corey, and I don't just pull out his head by the hair. I will do it as I have done before and wear it.
Well, he doesn't have hair, so
I will wear it as a puppet on my head and bring it out of the bag and be like, "I realized I am a punk ass bitch, and I was underprepared for this situation of these ass kickers known as the Seven Deadly Sins."
Ayumi gives you a look of disgust. Well, that's just disgusting.
Also, I will reach up onto one of his eyeballs as I can and look at Ayumi and give her the wink as best as I can with sock puppet head.
She just goes, as she puts like her fist to her mouth.
I apologize, my king.
I will also look at the rest of the group and again say, "Oh, I'm in."
Oh God.
Now, Duncan, I don't know where you plan for me to go next, but I made a promise. I swore a vow that I would kill a baron for a friend. He saved my life many times over, and I his, but we might have a greater vampire in Redford. And
Of Baron von Strice. He has a good reputation.
Well, I kind of made a vow to go and kill him for my friend.
Why? So, he is a reputable baron. How do you know that he is a vampire?
Well, do you remember Sea Shroud?
I remember what happened there.
Well, we might have maybe found out that most of those vampires came from, well, not most of, but it seemed to be that a lot of those vampires claimed that he was his master, and that's where they were from.
See, now Dorian, I'm only taking this stance because of the faith that I have in you, because usually if somebody starts talking to a king about killing a baron, you could imagine what the repercussions would be. I will say this. If you kill this baron, you must present proof that this baron was a vampire. You understand that, right? You can't just go kill a baron.
Well, I know that. Duncan, I'm not a child. Please. I will...
That was King Rurik that was saying that.
Oh, okay.
But Duncan's also sort of eyeing you with...
Then I
wouldn't say caution, but it's interest, curiosity.
So, Rurik said that to me, that I can't just go around killing barons?
Yeah.
I will look at Rurik, and I will say... I will bow first, and I will say, King Rurik, Dawn Axe, with all due respect, my fealty is to the church, and the church duties and the deeds of the church revolve around the church.
Understand that, Dorian, but
if
for your own well-being, you must provide proof that he is a vampire.
If he is a vampire, I will find this proof and this evidence. I'm going to merely investigate.
Or just show me his fangs. That would suffice.
Well, kind of hard to do when he gets misted.
Well, you have a point.
If he gets misted. But I will be taking Phoenix here and Philia with me. The sons have called Shiziki and Aaron on another job. They'll be going somewhere else, I take it, and I will look over at Shiziki. They will not be accompanying me. It will just be the three of us, and I will meet with my contact down there.
And at this point, Duncan speaks up and says, Dorian, if you would prefer, I'll go with you. After all, you know I've killed plenty of undead in my time, and I owe it to Bahamut that if there is any being that is feeding on the lives of others, that I should vanquish it.
Well, I mean no offense, Grand Knight, but you're old.
I can handle myself in a fight.
Does anyone else chuckle at the table when I say that?
I chuckle. I don't even know what's going on, but I would chuckle.
I
Go on,
chuckle.
Sam.
I give a grin.
I do one of those, like, slap my knee hee-haw laughs, because it's so good.
Does any of the other kings or anybody else, like, do they at least get a smile on their face when I call Duncan old?
Just Yord. You notice he has a big grin. But he's a rather rambunctious fellow, so...
Oh. I mean, no disrespect, Duncan, but I think the soldiers here need you. A little bit more than I do. Please allow me to do this. We still have brothers that might not be accounted for. And we just need the motivation and the morale at this time. And who's better to do that than the Grand Knight himself? You fought on the front lines. Our casualties would have been far greater if you weren't there, or if King Rourke wasn't there, or King Yorn wasn't there, or King Galaton wasn't there. The soldiers' morale would be significantly lower. Even when you play chess, everyone knows that the pawn moves first, but the king is the deciding factor. You're basically the king of the Brotherhood with the prior. We need you here.
You make a valid point, Dorian.
Well, I know that's because I said it, and I'm a dwarf. We know things.
If what you say is true, and this is an elder vampire, that means this vampire is one of the progenitors of the entire vampire species. Take caution, as he is very likely powerful if what you say is accurate.
Now, one thing I don't know is what happens to all the other vampires underneath him. That's what I'm worried about, because my friend might or might have not made another friend that is of the opposite sex and might or might not be a lesser vampire.
I would tell your friend to get out while he can, as she will likely devour him one day.
Oh, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said to him.
Look, if this guy is a vampire...
I tried to throw her in the middle of the daylight off of a skyship that's 500 feet in the air. But anyways, that's a story for a different time.
Look, if he is a vampire, I will make sure that he burns. As a,
You have my blessing, Dorian. Just make sure whatever you do, that you can prove the legality behind it. As King Rurik said, it is typically frowned upon to waltz over to a baron and kill them.
Which is why I wanted to bring it up. I know he's a baron, and I need some form of official documentation stating that I'm there for official business. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure if he's an elder vampire, the last thing he wants in his little town is the Brotherhood sniffing around.
King Rurik speaks up and says, "No, I can get you a meeting with the Baron. That's not a problem. We just have to come up with a pretense for the meeting."
I don't know anything about Redford. Shiziki, you're from that area, aren't you?
No, I am not from that area.
Well, there goes all my ideas. I normally bounce them off Shiziki here, and he normally tells me stuff. So, they're next.
Well,
Well,
what would you need? Do you need a letter of introduction? I can make that for you. Do you need an excuse? I can create whatever it is you would like to be able to make it that you need to meet with the Baron.
Well, I'm sure the king can just put a seal on something. One of these kings.
Sure.
King Rurik says, "Yes, that wouldn't be a problem. So Redford, it's one of the last human settlements. Actually, it's just a small fishing village. Nothing too major there. There's a good bit of nobility that is settled down there, as it is in beautiful country.
Do they
Just at
have
the
any
outskirts of
problems?
the desert. You head south, you find the desert. You head north, it's lush forests. Other than the occasional bandits that their local town militia is more than
No.
well equipped to handle, not really."
Okay.
It is kind of a matter of urgency, so I would need a way to get down there quickly.
Ayumi speaks up and says, "I'm not too terribly well versed in other forms of magic, but I am capable of teleportation."
Have you ever been to Redford?
Well, no, I haven't.
Could
Perhaps I
take
can
me
get
to
you in the
Redford?
ballpark?
Oh my god. Chaz, could you get in contact with Val to take me down there?
More than likely.
I mean, and no offense, Lady Ayumi, but I don't know who you are.
I'm the leader of the Primeval Consortium, thank you.
Yeah, that
Trust
sounds like
me,
a title.
I'm a very affluent
Mhm.
spellcaster. I could get you there.
Yeah.
Aaron's gonna whisper into Solomon's ear, and Solomon's going to leave the tent, and I'm going to DM you, Gavin.
Okay.
I mean, I have no doubt in your abilities there, Lady Ayumi, but you know what? Yeah, I'll take you up on that offer, because I have no idea what Val's probably doing, and he's probably going to ignore everything anyways. So. I also have one request, Duncan. Can I take Karzar with me?
Believe that could be arranged.
It'll be nice. It'll be like old times.
I'd be willing to bet Karzar would be ecstatic to accompany you. Though, of course, he would never admit it.
Well, no, that's because he's a stubborn shit. Well, that's all I need to say. So, Shiziki, you got anything? Aaron?
Yes, I'm waiting for my companion to get back, and then I will speak my piece.
About that time, Solomon walks back through and says, "You have been festive for you, sir," as he drops a sack on the ground that he was holding in his mouth.
I pull out the sack. So, kings, this is an invention of mine. This is much like a bag of holding, but much, much bigger. So, King Mechatron, as Aaron reaches his hand in and starts pulling out stacks of platinum in front of him. 100,000 gold in platinum.
That will be more than enough to get us on the right track to make the repairs that we need. Where did you come upon all this money?
I have my ways.
Galactic something, international fighting something.
strange bunch, aren't you?
We got
Probably
plenty.
illegal betting.
Yeah, so we were actually ripped out of this planar universe to go fight with in some galactic tournament for the God of War, and
with ourselves.
it
It was
turned out
bad.
really well. It turned out real well. I mean, the people there were kind of dumb. They let us bet against ourselves, which was at first. I mean, who bets against me? That's
We
stupid.
let's just say this: we came into a lot of money. The seven deadly sins did. So
That
I
explains a lot.
will give you this. I don't expect any favors or anything in return. I just want to bring balance back to this world.
Oh, no,
Aaron Black, you... I don't even know what to say. Thank you for this. This means the world to our kingdom. I cannot possibly express the fullest extent of my gratitude for this. The Gnomish people have seen some trying times in the past. And just when I was concerned that the times that lay ahead of us would more than overshadow the troubles that we faced before, you give us this. You have the full gratitude and support of the Gnomish people in anything that you need.
Thank you.
Shiziki, is there anything that you have to say?
Yes, I would. Cloak of billowing, of course. Going, and I will step forth. Your Highness, all the Highnesses here. Now, speaking as a man that fills several roles, one of which is the treasurer of the seven deadly sins that has approved Aaron's generous donation here. I didn't approve.
This was
I'm just saying. Shh.
This is out of my money, you selfless
Ambulance
bastard.
telepathy. Shh. This is going somewhere.
No, it's not.
Anyhow, that has approved this generous donation.
I'm gonna speak inside King
No,
Megatron's
you are not
head.
going to set anyone's fucking mind.
And I'm gonna say, he's not our treasurer, nor did he approve anything that I do. I do it
Actually,
on my own
Just so
accord.
you know, I am the treasurer for the seven deadly sins. Like that's actually honest.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he may be the treasurer, but that's not a part of the seven deadly sins.
Yeah, he
Money.
holds the bag.
Yes, but it's not his money, it's my money.
Oh, it's okay.
Maybe there might be a
Anyways.
reason I'm doing this. You're as your superior officer. Anyway, so speaking as the treasurer of the seven deadly sins and approving this generous donation, and allowing you all to, or allowing us to be a part of this, I just want to remind you that you all have been invited to a summit to bring together forces to prevent any further loss of this amount of numbers of the survivors out of the remaining members of your own kingdoms, to try and prevent such heavy losses. And I hope that you all decide to accept these invitations to the upcoming summit that's going to be held in Sea Shroud by the heir of the throne, heir of the throne, Rainer Primralty.
Now, Jord speaks up and says, what matters would we be discussing at this summit?
An alliance. Separated, we are weak and crumble. But gathering strength is what we're going to need to be able to withstand all these tides that are coming across us, that are just constantly threatening everyone here. So I hope...
Confederacy. You understand that, right? We are a confederacy. You understand that, right?
I will call whatever it is that has been established before antiquated. And those times have passed. It worked in the situation as needed in times previous, but as of now, as what you saw was happening on the eastern coast, no kingdom by itself, or even with its just immediate neighbors, can stand against that. It needs to be an allied attack force. A joint effort by all those willing to join to be able to stand together and survive the upcoming events that will be bearing down on each and every person in every kingdom of Alarath.
He speaks what is true.
I will gladly attend. And Rurik speaks up and says, and as will I.
And at this summit, I hope you will all listen with open hearts and open ears and open minds to what Rainer Permiralty will have to say.
Alaton says, well, considering the generous donation that we have received from your friend here, I suppose we've already broken one of our traditions. What's the shame in toying with the idea of breaking another?
It is good that you will come. Sometimes traditions have to be broken for the better of our world.
And sometimes breaking traditions causes us to lose heavier forces than we've ever lost in a battle in the history of our kingdom. But at the very least, I will entertain this summit.
Now, if I may, I was recently up in Gilberg, and I would recommend extending our invitation to the Sun Elves and the other elves in that area.
Moon Elves.
Yeah. Their lands were torn asunder. Both by different things, but what we've been following, what I've been following for the past, 2 years, it's all connected. The undead in Galeburg, the beast that tore apart the western seas, it's what we fought here to today. It's all connected. I say one of you kings, I plead to you to send an invitation with the 3 of you's transcriptions to the people of Galeburg, to the Sun Elves and the Moon Elves, to invite them. Let's not exclude them at the same time. They've already lived in their own part of the world for so long. So has the gnomes. So has the dwarves lived in their mountains.
I wholeheartedly...
King Rurik speaks up and says,
okay, go.
says, I will do this, including, I will have word delivered to Emperor Shotogust at once, as well as to the Moon Elves and the Sun Elves.
And sirs, I have probably no right to ask this of any of you, but I have some people coming from the astral planes to deal with some things here. I need refuge for them, somewhere they can stay and prepare for a battle that is beyond any of y'all's concern. But it is something that is of my people, that is of great terror to us, that is coming our way. Have any of y'all know what Calistars are?
Lord speaks up and says, no, can't say that I do. As everybody else sort of just nods their head no.
Well, it sounds like a conversation to be had at the next grouping. We must all take our leaves for the night. I'm quite weary. I know And I kind of point at Duncan. Some older people might need their beauty sleep, no matter how old and ugly they get. And then Dorian will chuckle.
Yes, of course, Dorian. Or, perhaps we wish to have a pint of ale?
Duncan, I think I'm gonna have to sit one out.
Now I am concerned. You've never been one to pass up a drink.
Aaron's gonna walk out the room.
Is there any other further business to attend here, Kings?
Why, yes, King Rurik speaks up. A pint of ale, that's the business we have to attend to.
Brought 2 kegs
And
right
perhaps
here.
something a little harder.
Oh. Yeah, okay, my mic's working. I got 2 kegs right here. Some soft stuff and some hard.
Well, the soft stuff's all gone.
No, the hard stuff's all gone. Halfway gone.
No, halfway gone.
There's a wooden straw in it, by the way.
Dwarven whiskey, by the way.
It's
There's
dwarven
a
whiskey.
wooden straw in the middle of the barrel.
Hey, when they start pouring drinks, I think Dorian will, he'll start to walk out.
So Yord speaks up and says, "Alright, I believe this, at least for me, this meeting is adjourned." As he takes his leave and pulls out a flask and is already drinking on the way out.
I'll stand by the door and I'll just give him a bow as he goes to leave. And then I'll follow.
Chaz
He
is
tips
gonna-
his head
oh,
towards
sorry.
you and grabs his maul that was perched against the wall and throws it over his shoulder and walks out.
Chaz is gonna follow Dorian just at a steady pace, not get involved. Just kind of, if he's by himself, I'll settle up next to him. But if it looks like he's doing anything, I'm just gonna follow at an acceptable distance.
I don't go far. Dorian, I assume he's just gonna wait outside, just like off to the side a little bit.
I will have Arcane Eye. I will cast that and leave it in the room, because that's what I do. And then I will follow Dorian and sit next to Dorian for a minute.
Aaron's gonna walk with Solomon. He's going to go find a place that's kind of solitude. No one's there.
You find a small kind of nook in the wall, sort of a mini cave that wasn't really big enough to turn into anything.
He's gonna sit there with Solomon and he's gonna kind of look to the sky.
Well, you can't see the sky, you're inside of a mountain.
He's gonna look up towards the ceiling. Sylvanus, Mechanus. Am I on the right path? Am I doing what I'm supposed to? Is this where I'm supposed to be? I have family and other people coming to fight a war that is not these people's. Do I have gods that want to kill me? Why am I here?
You feel a rush of emotion as suddenly you see flashbacks. You remember the day of your arm being torn off. You remember your disapproving family in the nameless city. You remember the first time you ever heard Solomon speak. You immediately just get flashbacks of all the big moments in your life that have led you up to this point, and feeling just a rush of emotion that's almost overwhelming. It's all sort of capped off and finished with a feeling of approval. And you can't help but shed a tear at the thought of everything that you just saw in your head, of all the things that have happened to you and everything you've been through.
Thank you.
Solomon sort of nudges you on the shoulder and says, "Are you all right, sir?"
I am, buddy. We've come a long way, and we have a lot longer to go.
Yes, we do, sir, and I know you wish for me to have more independence, which I have been working on, but this is out of my own choice. This is out of my own volition. I choose to spend my future by your side.
I am grateful for you, Solomon.
And I for you, sir. I'm sure we have many more marvelous adventures in store for us.
That we do. That we do. You know, this next coming event is going to be different than what we're normally used to.
But, sir, I've seen your character. I know that when it comes down to it, you have a good heart, and you will do the right thing.
Thank you, Solomon. Let us go join the others.
To you, sir.
So,
And
oh, sorry.
Aaron's gonna get up. Aaron's gonna get up and walk back towards Shiziki and Dorian.
Well, while that conversation was going on, I will take a hint that Dorian doesn't have the amulet telepathy on, and I'll turn mine off.
Okay.
So how was that? Did things go like you wanted to with your dad?
Shiziki, I don't have a dad. I was a dwarfen. Remember?
That doesn't mean you don't have a dad.
The closest thing I have to a dad is Duncan. It's just blood, Shiziki. It's just blood. It's like Philia said. Family's who you choose.
No, it is, but it's not just that. Look, Dorian, I don't pretend to know your childhood.
Well, man, my childhood was great. I grew up in the church, surrounded by friends, trained all the time, studied all the time, had a great education. Had a great childhood.
And my
No sad
childhood
moments.
was great too until I was robbed by those that were related to me, as far as I'm concerned, by blood, even if they weren't. I understand what you mean by family isn't always blood. I do. I completely agree. I couldn't more strongly agree with that if I tried. But even so, your dad's your dad. If you have that opportunity to be able to close that gap, I can't tell you what I would give to be able to do that, to have that bond back.
There isn't a bond. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Just all this dad stuff, let's just not speak about it out loud where people can hear. Never know when that creepy dude. And I immediately I want to do a perception check for Azrael.
Alright, make a perception check.
What's that? Persuasion, perception. Do I see him?
You don't see him around.
Okay. He like jumps up, looks around. He's like, you never know when that creepy ass guy that keeps following us around.
Azrael's
I don't even know.
He's not that bad.
You're right. He's not that bad, but he just has that look. Like, you ever seen somebody that just has that look on their face, like they're always happy all the time? I just don't like it. I think it's creepy.
Yeah, your mom.
And I
No,
don't
I'm
appreciate
just kidding. I'm kidding. But
I don't have a mom, but thanks for that.
fantastic. Look, I don't. What do you want out of your interactions with the king here? Like,
Which one? I had a lot of interactions in there. I
You
talked to
know
all
which
of
one
them.
I'm talking about.
Well, what I want is for people not to stand in my way when I'm handling church business, but at the same time, it is all about politics. And there's one thing Duncan taught me is that, yes, the church is independent from any other type of, like, territory, kingship, whatever you want to call it. We are independent, but we still rely on their approval. Especially with the headquarters being in Stormhaven, we still need King Donax's approval for certain things.
Just
especially the other kings.
My curiosity, and you don't have to answer this, but what takes priority? The church or King Rurik to you?
Church. Easy.
It's good to know as your friend if I need to support you in a certain aspect. I know where
That's
your
who I am.
priorities lies. See, that's different between you and me. The people that were involved in me. I don't know how to explain it, but if I had a choice in the priorities between my parents and who were a part of making me who I am today, I'd choose my parents if I could. But that's just me.
I'm just gonna sit back and relax, and I'm gonna wait there until I see King Donax leave. I want to have a couple private words with him.
Okay.
I will see that Dorian has ended the conversation, and I will leave him be. Just a quick little unsure, kind of awkward pat on the shoulder, but not really like we're bros, but just a like they're
like,
there.
Hey, is this okay? Is this not okay? Kind of pat on the shoulder.
I'm not sure if this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm just gonna be like a.
Look,
got
Chef,
this.
Look, I saw your handshake earlier, and I'll admit I was slightly impressed. But we have a handshake in the Brotherhood. We call it the Predator Handshake, and I will Predator Handshake Shaz. I'll show him how to do it.
Okay.
I will memorize the shit out of this.
Yeah. And then I'll say 1 week.
1 week.
Zeke.
So, oh, you go ahead, Brandon.
Oh no, what was you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that all he sees is Ayumi and King Donak walk out of the fortress, exchange a few words, and part ways.
Shizuki,
Dorian will follow
I have a
Donak.
moment.
Okay.
Shizuki, what?
Can I have a moment with you?
Sure. Go ahead, specialist.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
I cringe.
I understand that there is a point where
That's so disrespectful.
inside the Brotherhood that we share, that I have to see you as a superior. But outside that, I don't want to see you as such. You are my friend, you are family to me. You do understand that the force that is coming for me in particular is probably almost as powerful as a god.
Aaron, I'm gonna put this out as best as I can for you. I am, until further stipulation or anything changes, will be your superior. Always. Now, I don't intend to always treat you as such. In fact, I didn't recommend you into the Dark Suns just to be your superior. I recommended you as a friend and somebody that respects your talents. So,
I appreciate that.
understand, in most certain situations, especially if you ever come to me with Angaria, or in Angaria, you will absolutely have to respect me as your superior. Hands
Of course.
down. But
Of course, that's
I don't
understood.
expect a salute from you every time I walk into a room. I don't expect sirs. To be honest, I don't have the patience for that. If we're out and about on a day-to-day basis, be Aaron. Be who you are. However, understand there are certain times where I'm going to bark an order, an instruction, anything at you, and I am expecting you, not just as a speaker, but as a friend, to trust that I'm saying these things for a reason, a purpose. Don't fight me on it.
Okay.
That's not... You're one of my own. I have to watch out for you, as your superior.
And
So
I will
just
watch out for
know
you.
that I've got your back going forward. So trust in my instructions. If you feel that something I'm saying, doing, or otherwise isn't the best move to make, let me know. But don't just avidly go against it. Don't attack me again, because I will put you fucking down at this point now, because I can't. I can't do otherwise. And for the love of God, if you hear anyone talking about the Dark Suns in a negative manner, do as you normally do and absolutely destroy that person, and I will help you do it.
Sounds good. I felt like before this last battle we had, I was in such rage. I was losing my sense of balance that I have vowed to do. And in some ways I still feel that way. I need to get back on track because I don't want to end up like Zeos.
Aaron, we're both part of the Suns, and we're both part of the Dark Suns. If you need someone to bounce some ideas off of, if you need someone to just relay things to help you deal with things, I'm here for you. But you have to come to me. You can't fight me and let me try and figure the things out after the fact. You have to tell me what's going on in your head.
Well, I can tell you this. I feel like I'm going in a very opposite way of where I have done a lot of work to get myself to. I need to get back to my code of balance in this world.
I don't know about a code of balance with the Dark Suns. We do things for a certain purpose, a certain way. I would love to help you find your way, but your way doesn't exist anymore. Your way is the Dark Sun's way. That's what you signed up for. Now, there is a lot of open to interpretation with that. There's a lot of leniency involved, but you cannot walk your own individual path anymore. That went out the window when you signed a lifetime contract with the Dark Suns. I warned you about that as best as I could. I'll help you get as close to what you want as I can, but again, that is all within the bounds of your contract.
And maybe, just maybe, I was sent here to actually help bring balance into the Dark Suns.
Maybe. Dark Suns is always growing, always changing. We are an adaptive guild, but just be aware this is what you signed up for. And know that with every mission that you either accept or is thrust upon you.
I understand. Thanks, Shiziki. I'm just gonna pat him on the back and walk off.
Oh, our one shot is gonna be great.
Just saying, that whole walking off thing is so fucking disrespectful. Like, just saying from like a military point, like when you go to leave, you're supposed to address that you're leaving or be released when you're being talked to. That
yeah, Gavin,
just me
in real life.
Just me. Like, it is so fucking disrespectful.
No,
dude.
I'm telling Gavin in real life as his captain. I will expect you to address that anytime you try to walk off from now on.
So you're not Sean anymore, you're Captain Collins?
I'm always Captain Collins, boy!
No, I'm just saying, like, when you're like talking about official business and stuff like that with the superior, or not superior, but a superior, and you just turn around and walk away, That's a no-go.
I mean,
I've
and you would know, Shiziki, that yeah, those expectations are there in the Dark Suns, but I would imagine you would just choose to shrug it off.
Well, and that's
And-
what the whole thing was. Is I told him that on a day-to-day basis, I'm not going to hold him accountable to that. So
Stuff like I'll take my leave now, or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You have to address that you're leaving, and then
Yeah.
allow them time to respond, or something like that.
You gotta
Just-
think. Aaron's not a military person.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
So-
Learn to be.
Aaron- Aaron's like the furthest from a military person in the world. Like he literally went to the woods by himself for a while
Well, that's
until
why-
he got his arm ripped off.
That's why Dorian's never just straight up left a conversation. He always addressed the group and then left. Like, even when he waited for a king to walk out first and then he followed, like, he just waited.
I'm
Just
pretty
because
sure
it's,
Shiziki has like done the same thing with VV. I'm just like, all right, I dip out. Like, I'm wrong. So
Like, sometimes
this is
it
the
can
way
go
the Dark
away,
Suns
get
do
away,
it. All right,
but-
maybe in the Order of Shield and Light, that's how they do the Dark Suns. Nah, we're super Kaz. All right, we wear Crocs on
Dip
Fridays.
out. Yo, peace. But anyways, I'm gonna have to actually say peace to y'all.
Yep.
Am I? So
But I want to talk to Keith Gornax.
okay, well that we can knock that out. And
It'll be quick.
well, there was a couple things actually, because also I don't know if Shiziki was gonna react to seeing Ayumi walk out of there, but
Shiziki already knows he's got this in the bag, so he doesn't feel he needs to do anything else.
So wait,
Nobody
hold on. Let me
resists
get this
my
right.
charm.
Okay, is there anything else for Aaron before I go out?
nothing I had planned. No.
Okay,
So
then I'm out.
let me get
I will-
this straight.
I will say this. Well, he's already gone.
Phoenix is
The
just
plan
stuck.
was first thing in the morning
So-
that we teleport and we're gone. So I'm assuming Aaron's on board with that.
I'm assuming was.
First thing in the morning when Azrael has his spells back, we out in the morning.
So I'm gonna get this straight. So it's Suzuki's trying to steal Ophelia's brother's girl, and then me and Dorian are trying to just beat the shit out of Ophelia's brother.
Yeah, I guess.
Or just like make his life hell. Like, come on. Well, dang.
Not gonna lie, Shizuki has never been rejected in his fucking life, so this we'll see how this goes.
Okay, Gavin. Before
Gavin,
go ahead.
can Val go ahead and send that message that I wanted to send?
We'll say yeah.
Okay. So, Shizuki, you hear a toll of a bell, and then the book starts to just hum and vibrate.
Like a book appears.
No, the book that he got from Val.
Oh,
The
right. Okay.
transcribing book.
Well, you would feel that in your bag.
Yeah.
I will take it out and then sit on it and be like, oh, it's like a massage chair.
So,
And that is the most action Shiziki got that night.
do you want me to just
The
send it
night's still
to
early. Thank
Sean,
you. Yeah,
or
So-
post in? I'll just send it to. There's just, or how do you want to do it, Gavin?
Just read it.
Well, it's a word.
Okay, read the word.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
good.
it's long,
It's real
send
cool.
it to me and then also read it. That way I can actually just like go back and just take
No,
it.
Gavin's funny. It's Zekilzir?
Glazier.
Yeah, Zeklazir. Yeah, I'll just send it to Sean. That's the only word that's on the page. And it's written in like a very neatly scribed. Like, Velastros has amazing penmanship. Like, he writes in calligraphy. Not even. It's like not even in cursive. It's straight up calligraphy. It's very impressive.
Recognize the name at all? Gavman?
Am I muted?
Yeah.
I said. Oh, did you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Yep,
hear you
we can hear you
now.
now.
Oh, okay. I said, yeah, no, you don't recognize the name. You know what? Make a history check. We'll see, but it's gonna have to be pretty high on this one.
Yeah, and I got like a 0% bonus to the history. Yeah, so here we go. History. And then I will use a luck point
Weren't you
to
out of those?
You're
not
out.
have a luck point. So, yeah. And then I'll use a divine inspiration that I also don't have. And then, yeah, I have an 11.
I'll say from that, you see the name and it's not completely unfamiliar to you, but it's just driving you nuts. You're like, where have I heard that name before?
Is it...
All you can gather it
Let me-
has a somewhat divine origin, but you
Let me
don't.
put it
You
this
can't
way.
recall any details.
Does the name... Like spelling bee, when you're like, what's the name of origin? Like, does it, language-wise, because I am very familiar with a lot of languages, does the name strike a familiarity with the language that it might be derived from?
No, not really.
Fucking Christ,
language-
really? I know so many languages, though, bro.
What
know.
languages do you know?
Oh my god, what languages do I not know? God dang. Which is surprising. It's probably Celestial,
know
because I don't know
Celestial?
Celestial. I do not
'Cause
know Celestial. For fuck's sake. That's actually what I'm going to be working on next.
Okay. Because this was written in common, but it seems like whenever you read the word vanishes from the book. So after it looks like the letters bleed into the book as if they're being written when you look at it, and then after like 10-15 seconds, the letters fade out and bleed out of the book.
Yeah, I will definitely make a point of storing that to memory. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, things don't get saved in the book.
Sure.
It's just transcribing. That's it.
And then I'm like, man, I'm tired of not having my shit available to do things. I want to go to bed. Can I go to bed?
Yeah, some things that usually work for you.
I want to
have
go
not
to
worked for you
bed.
this session.
Can I please go to bed? I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed early because I tried to like get Shasta McNasty with this chick, and it hasn't exactly worked out as fast as I normally do. My luck points are gone. My spell slots are pretty much gone. Like, I'm going to motherfucking bed. That's what I'm doing right now.
Man, and I wanted that to work for you too, just so you could be like, yeah, I fucked his girlfriend, but but
I'll come
just
back.
the
It'll
roles weren't
happen.
there.
At a certain time, at a certain age, I will come back, and I'll make that happen. Anyhow,
I feel like it's gonna be at the meeting.
It's very possible. I got plans for the meeting, but I want to go to bed. And then Gavin, I don't know how much you want to make this thing go on. I would like to knock out a couple really quick things tomorrow, game wise.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on with everybody and all that jazz.
I just need to talk to
Unfortunately, I'm
Donax
going
real
back
quick.
to work in the morning.
I know.
But-
That's what I'm saying. Like, super quick. Because basically, I also want to make sure that it's at the point that like the party's splitting up, we're going our separate ways, yada yada. So we
Yeah.
How would y'all feel about just hopping in Discord for just a minute on Monday afternoon?
Well, I work on Monday.
Oh wait, no, Sunday afternoon. Because I think
So that's the other thing. Normally, I would have been planning to do the one shot on Sunday, but I'm actually doing something with Mary's family on Sunday.
okay. What about like Sunday night? Like, would y'all be? I mean, just to get on and talk about the one shots. Like Sunday night. Would that be alright?
We can. So I was. We'll figure the one shots out, but we'll. I'll be running two separate things for you guys.
I've talked to Chris, and Chris said he wouldn't mind and be down to like come back for like a one shot or something like that. Because I told him Dorian vowed to go kill this Baron dude, and so if we could like,
and
I'm sorry.
So you know that Chris knows, Chris is a duke in Primalty.
Carrick.
Yeah, Carrick. Carrick is a duke in Primalty.
I completely forgot if that ever happened.
Yeah, I told all y'all I would make y'all dukes, and since Carrick left, I kind of expedited his thing. So at the same time that Shiziki actually became a whatever it is I am, a Permalty diplomat,
So
Carrick became a Duke of Permalty.
Real quick, Dorian wants to approach King Donax.
And this will have to be the last thing, because I gotta get to bed.
I got you.
God dang it! Gavin?
My king.
Dorian.
I want to start off by saying I meant no disrespect back in the meeting.
Was taken.
I have a question for you, and before that, I need you to know that I already know. So let's just skip all the other formalities. How does he look when I say that?
Caught off guard, definitely. Concerned. Hesitant. How long have you known?
5 years. I've been on my pilgrimage for... No, 2 years. I've been on my pilgrimage for 2 years. They told me as soon as I left for my pilgrimage, I don't know when I'll be done with it, but I'm supposed to be uptaking the... Basically, I'm supposed to be taking over Duncan's job if he ever croaks. That's what the pilgrimage is for. But I only want to know one thing. I've lived my entire life knowing who you are. I want to know who my mother is.
Flipping through notes, flipping through notes, flipping through notes. Here we go. I see. And what makes you curious about that?
Just as I said, I've lived my entire life in Stormhaven. You're the king of Stormhaven. I know everything about you. Duncan made me learn everything about you. But the one thing I don't know is anything about my mother.
No. I loved your mother once. Her name is Torbera. I met her on a summit in Gilstead many years ago. Of course,
Does that name sound any familiar?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Of course, as you know, it is... As you know, your mother and I were never married. And according to our traditions, there is shame in that. However, I was the only living blood of the royal bloodline. So, eventually I managed to get into the seat. But it came at a sacrifice. And it's a sacrifice I've regretted to this day. The monarch of Stormhaven must be approved in the eyes of the gods, must be approved in the eyes of the Brotherhood of Shield and Light. And that is why I gave you to them. So I could sit upon the throne. Now, please do not think less of me, Dorian. It wasn't out of greed. It wasn't out of a desire for power.
Dorian holds up his hand. They already told me. I hold no ill will against you. Let that be known. You are still king. And then you are the king of the dwarves. You are my king. I understand. You had to do what you had to do. This kingdom, Stormhaven, of ours, would not be what it is today without you. I understand. I just want to know, who is my mother? Tell me about her. Who is Torbera? And how do I find her?
I wish I could tell you that, because I do not even know. Her name is Torbera Stralfheim. She was a noble of the city of Gilstead. Now,
I've been to Gilstead, haven't I?
You have. It's a dwarven-owned city. It's technically a dwarven territory, but it has a primarily human population, though it is very... It definitely has a dwarvish presence there as well, but they fall under the authority of the Dwarven Throne, and it is a dwarven territory.
Have we ever actually been to Gilstead?
Not so far in the campaign, no. I would say Dorian would have been there. It's a city, okay. It's a very, tropical sort of city, nestled at the edge of a jungle.
Okay, yeah, I see it on the map. It's to the east.
So, yeah.
Torbera Strathheim.
But the reason I don't know if you will find her is... Back, I had to come home. I had to leave her. And I had to... make my peace. I had to... make my case for my legitimacy for the throne. But when I was doing so, that meant I was not there to protect her. She went on an expedition into the jungle, and she was never seen again. Whether she still lives, I do not know. But if I'd just been there, if I'd been more concerned about her and less about my claim to the throne, maybe I could have saved her from whatever it is that caused her to disappear.
Nah, you shouldn't blame yourself for that. You had to do what you had to do. Understand.
I still hope to this day that one day I might see her again. But as the years go by, I find that to be more and more unlikely.
As soon as I get done with this Baron thing, and I meet back up with my group, I'm gonna go pay Gilstead a little visit. I know somebody who has family there.
That's much appreciated, Dorian, but...
I'm not doing it for you.
I do hope you get to meet her. She is a wonderful, kind-hearted woman.
Does the name Strathheim stick out at all? Or did I already ask that?
It's a common dwarven last name that is typically the last name of someone with status. There's no one Stralfheim family. But it's typically by tradition has been a name that comes with some repute. You do know of other Stralfheims. You've met people with those last names before. Usually nobles or usually people with some sort of royal blood.
Okay. What else was he saying?
He was just going to say in Dorian, and rest assured, she did love you very much. Even though you never got to meet her. Even though you have no memories of her.
I just gotta know, if you died, do I become a king?
You choose. Yes, you are next in line for the throne.
I don't think I want that. I don't think I'd want that at all.
There are other royal families who could take the seat.
Like
but
who?
You would have the first rights to it.
The Ducors? No, they're wimps. They're a bunch of dweebs. I apologize, my king. I did not mean to speak ill of other noble families, but...
Offense was taken, but I will say the next likely candidate after you would be the Stone Smite bloodline, as our two families branched apart thousands of years ago. but they would be the closest blood relatives to us. So it would
Stone
likely
Smites.
be the Stone Smite family that would take the throne.
Aren't they the... I know the Stone Smites. They used to come down to the orphanage at the church and throw stones at us.
That's a funny joke. But no, they are very amiable dwarven nobles in charge of the mines.
Well, do you think that Lady Iomi will be able to get us down to Redford?
Been studying other schools of magic since she met with your comrade. While she doesn't have much experience with that school of magic, I've seen how quickly she has grown and adapted. I have faith in her.
All right. Well, with your leave, my king, and Dorian will bow.
He says one other thing. He says, she's only 22 years old. To have gained the position that she had, let that reassure you of her abilities.
Wait, hold on. I'm 26, and my mother is 22?
No, he was talking about Ayumi.
Oh, I know. Tony knows.
Oh, no.
Dorian has an intelligence of 10, my man.
Oh, okay. No, Ayumi is who I'm speaking of. She's 22.
Oh. I was just testing you. Just make sure.
Your mother's a good bit older than 26, assuming she's still alive.
Alright. Well. Till next time.
You may take your leave, Dorian.
And Dorian will bow again, and I will
May
take
your
my
mug
leave.
never run empty.
Aye.
And on that, I gotta get to bed.
Yep.
Hey, Gavin.
Oh God,
just
you're
a
still
few.
here?
I was just thinking that. What's up?
I know I get a new blood curse for my guy, and I think I get a new feat. No, that was at a different level. Never mind.
Yeah, you the blood curse.
Yeah, the blood curse. That's okay. That's it. All right, cool. And I
You
was
get
just wondering.
another feat or ability score improvement at 19.
19. Got it.
So I walked past. Dorian walked past the grand hall, and Phoenix is still just sitting there drinking by himself.
Pretty much. Just chugging.
I just wave him on. Let's go.
I follow.
You gotta get a good night. We got vampires to kill tomorrow.
Oh, sounds fun.
Where's Philia?
She
I'm
went
not
to bed.
quite
We'll just
sure
say she
where
went to bed.
All right. So that's it for that.
Yeah.
Are you talking? Is Philia from Gilstead?
You'd have to ask Philia.
Yeah, you'd have to ask Philia.
Also, Shizuki, who is sleeping by himself tonight, is in bed, but he is also being cuddled and being the little spoon to Jimmy. Jimmy is cuddling Shizuki. Jimmy's being big spoon, Chaz is being little spoon, because that's the best spoon to be.
He's like going insane, just repeating the same. Zelikzer. Zeklizer.
Zeklazier, but I know.
Zeklizer.
So, yeah, since I don't get to do any of my shit in the morning, because y'all had to RP all the stuff, which was amazing, by the way.
Maybe.
No, dude, don't apologize. It was so great to actually have some RP in a session for once.
It's been a since we've been in this campaign, Dorian has not been back to Stormhaven. He hasn't been in Stormhaven for 2 years. We haven't gone back there long. Well, we haven't gone back there long enough, so he hasn't had contact with King Rorik or anybody.
You can say the same thing about Chaz in his hometown.
Where's his hometown?
Well, I think I've said it. Yeah, I came from,
You're from the dust place, the
yeah,
desert.
I came from Angaria, but I've mentioned it that I actually grew up in Darkholm.
Ooh, which reminds me, there's something about Gavin's map that I was unsure of, and I don't know why he did it. I think it's just a mistake.
What are you unsure of?
Okay. You have a mountain, the Sundar Oasis, and it is a
That's
mountain
actually a
range.
lake.
Okay, yeah, but you have a mountain range, the Dora,
The Durham Rune Mountains.
yeah, the Durham Room Mountains, and then okay, the way like maybe this is just me being like a horticultural nerd or whatever, and knowing about like environments and landscapes. The way that mountains run is if you have a mountain and you have a desert on one side, there has to be foliage on the other side. So on the west side of the Durham Mountains, is there like a forest over there?
Dude, this is fantasy logic. You can't apply that real world stuff.
Hey, excuse me. You use the Pythagorean theory. So
Because that's just the easiest way to calculate distance at an angle.
yeah, well this is fantasy. You can't apply that logic. And
You can
did you
apply
do these
math.
mountains yourself?
I did.
Yeah, it looks like your penmanship.
Why, thank you.
So, anywho, I got shiz to do. So,
Yeah, I'm heading out, guys. I gotta get to sleep.
Hey, Gavin,
Yep.
if you're cool with it, I'm actually just gonna bring a D20 to work next shift, and we'll just knock this shit out before you go to work, or before you leave work.
Fine.
Super crazy easy. Be done with it without having to take up stream time.
Oh, so I will be starting the first Saturday of every month. I'm starting a new, basically like an Adventures League campaign with my brother and my girlfriend and my brother's wife. So we're doing like a little. They're coming over and they're gonna play. It's gonna be on the
Gavin,
first
get out of
Saturday.
here. Go to bed.
Later,
Yeah,
guys.
deuces, bro. Yeah, that was good. I like.
I am going to kill the recording.